Well, hello everyone. Here's a video for us about rejection. Kris, give me your best rejection face. Yeah, how's that?
I got a few.
Yeah, about the way you feel, right? So here we go. Tough topic. I don't know about you, but the reason why we're doing this video right now is because both of us have faced some like no's this week, right?
Yeah,
incredible yeses, but there've been some no's to deal with, and yeah, I had my crying on a little bit.
And I think that's the thing people ask us too. They say, how do you deal with rejection? And you two are always so joyful and sparkly and bubbly, and you're always so positive and like, you know, everything must go your way all the time. And I'm here to tell you, no. I have had job opportunities not come my way. I have a binder full of 80 rejection letters from a publisher. I have been rejected in life and love and family things. There's no area that
coffee here.
Sure. There's no area that I can think of that I'm like, I haven't been, even my cat rejects me sometimes.
That's what I was thinking about. It's like our cat.
But so what do you do? And so what do you do? What do you do to handle it? Right. And I think we've got 4 things here that we want to talk about. And so number 1 is acknowledge it. So you've been rejected. And for me, I get hurt feelings. I'm a sensitive little bunny, and I do a little crying, and I do a lot of talking with my inner circle. I'll call you, Elizabeth, and I'll say, this just happened. Oh my goodness. And then I will rehash through like all the things. Should I have done this? Should I have done that? And I really spend a lot of time living in it and letting it like fill me up and everything. And I think there's something important about that. But after acknowledging is we don't want you to hold on to it for too long, because, you know, typically if you're rejected, obviously there's another party at play. You know, you don't necessarily reject yourself too often unless you're like, I want to have ice cream. And then you're like, no, I reject that. But usually there's another party involved, whether it's, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm thinking as you're talking, I'm like, oh, sometimes there's the best positive outcome to a rejection where you're like, oh, thank goodness that didn't happen, because like this did. Yeah. There's like some cool moments, but a lot of the time though, I think this video is more talking and addressing like that initial, like, oh, my heart
thinking feeling. Yeah, definitely. And so acknowledge it. Let yourself be sad. Let yourself be mad. Let yourself be frustrated, and allow that. So that's acknowledge. And I mean, the second one there, we wrote the word comfort zone. And for us, comfort zone is if you have truly never been rejected in your life, good for you, but also, is it good for you? Because does that mean that you've just lived such a safe little life and you really don't put yourself out there to allow yourself to have the opportunity to be rejected? And I think that people who are rejected a lot and can embrace it and can navigate it and can sort of handle it and deal with it in a healthy way, like you start to be like, okay, sooner. Right. So if I've been rejected, and I think, gosh, that was disappointing that I don't, looking for a job or looking for somewhere to put up my art or a publisher, or even in relationships. I remember before I was married, didn't meet my husband until I was 35. There was a lot of rejection, but I didn't want to be in that comfort zone where I was like, I'm just living with me and my cat. I wanted to find that partner. So I had to face a lot of rejection, but on the flip side, I also gave out a little bit of rejection, maybe more than a little. Sorry, guys, but it was all on the path to Ben, and that Ben was my husband. And so that comfort zone, though, if you aren't facing or dealing with any rejection, it's tricky. And if you only deal with rejection so little, so many small slivers, then it's harder. I think the more you get rejection, the more you can shoulder it too. So I try to find a way to embrace rejection. Like Elizabeth said, if it's not this, then the next door or the next around the corner is going to be amazing.
I have a question for you, just a discussion point for those who are listening to this and are like, rejection follows me wherever I go, or whatever, like they're spinning in the rejection zone or whatever. Yeah. Like when we're coaching people and we're both master life coaches, when that comes our way, we encourage people to do something different.
That's
like
right.
Pull you out of that zone, change a behavior, a routine, a pattern, or something or other, or an outlook, because you might be just inviting it.
And that's the compassion zone. Yeah. We want you to be kind to yourself. So that's the third comment that we have on our slide there. Be compassionate to yourself, because your negative self-talk is never going to serve you. And even though it may feel like in that moment that it's, oh, this always happens to me and this is gloom and doom. And that's back to number one. We want you to acknowledge it. But that compassionate part is that we need you to also embrace and accept all of the beautiful, wonderful things about yourself. And in some cases, realize that that rejection might not even be a reflection of you, that person, that job, that relationship might not even, like, you know, I always try to think to myself, if someone didn't want me, then why would I want them or that job or that role or that project?
That energy that didn't want you in the first place. Like, you know how like some people try and like leap over the no, like, oh, can't you please just give me a yes, please, kind of thing. And it's like, you got to know right here. So like, don't leap here because it wasn't right to begin with. And that forced kind of like energy thing. I do that a lot sometimes with projects. I'm like, oh, that is disappointing. I really, really, really wanted that. Does it really have to be that way? Yes. Move along.
Yeah. And I think that like links closely with the very last point that we have there on our slide, which is learn. And what can you learn from your rejections? So after you've acknowledged it, after you've spent a little time with yourself,
lick the wounds.
Lick your wounds. And then we do try to inspire you to say, what did you learn from that? Like, what would you do differently you're not going to get this scenario again, whatever this scenario is, but in the next maybe similar scenario, what would help you find more success or more peace or a better result or whatever the case may be? And so what can you learn from it? And these reflective behaviors, these taking moments to really figure out what's going on internally, figure out what it means to you, how it impacts you, and then taking it to that next higher level where you're like, how can I learn from this? Those are high level skills that can help you be your absolute best. They can just help you succeed and fly. So here we are on a rejection video talking about how you can be amazing, but I really truly believe that they can, it can add to that. It can help develop you. It can really add strength of character and help you with your mindset game. That if you are someone who can really handle rejection, work through these 4 points, and there's other things you can do too, but if you can do that, what a great skill and what a beautiful strength. And if you can't do that right now and you're like, I struggle, please reach out to us because we want to help you. I got a list of 700 times I've was rejected, and look at this smile. Ding.
The other thing too, before we go, and I know this video is kind of going on, but you know, here's the can of worms at the end of it slightly, but you know, especially if your goal is like a little loftier, you know, like one of those goals, like I want to be fill in the blank, an author, or this or that, and you're just starting out. That path is going to have rejection. You know, I don't know of anybody who didn't work for it.
That's right.
When you're working for things, you know, people make you work for it.
They do, absolutely. I know, and you're so right. And whatever the thing that you aspire is, and you get that rejection, it is very tempting, very easy to say, I just want to quit. And we always like to say, ask yourself, why did you start? Why did you start it? Why did you start that? And what, you know, even if you're in the face of rejection, to just keep going is also so, so key. So
do the things you have to do, no matter what.
That's right. That's right.
So
you can always reach us. You know, you can always reach us. Don't say goodbye until they know how to get us. You can reach us, Kris Fuller, Elizabeth Guarino, on our social media. And you can always, always write to us at besteveryou.com. We would love to hear from you about rejection. If you've got thoughts, insights, or comments about that, or
shedding, holler.
We are here. We are here for you. Yeah, we're here for you. So bye for now. And thanks for watching our video.